Welcome to Gospel Glow. Today we're diving into the laws for offerings, as outlined in Leviticus chapters 1 through 7. It's a journey into the heart of ancient Israelite worship, a time when humanity sought connection with the divine. We'll explore the different types of offerings, their rituals, and their deeper significance. These offerings, you see, were more than just sacrifices. They were a profound system of atonement, a way for people to acknowledge their imperfections and seek reconciliation with God. It's a concept that resonates even today, the idea of offering something precious as a symbol of our deepest desires, for forgiveness, for peace, for closeness with the divine. So, let's embark on this exploration together, delving into the intricate world of Leviticus and uncovering the timeless messages embedded within its ancient verses. The burnt offering, a ritual outlined in Leviticus chapter 1, stands as a powerful symbol of complete surrender and dedication to God. Imagine, if you will, a male animal without blemish chosen from the flock or herd. This animal, representing the best the offerer had to offer, was brought to the tabernacle entrance, a sacred space where heaven and earth seemed to converge. There, the offerer would lay their hands upon the animal's head, a gesture laden with meaning. It was a transfer of sorts, a symbolic laying on of their own imperfections onto this innocent creature. And then, the animal was slaughtered. Its lifeblood poured out at the base of the altar, a stark reminder of the cost of sin. But the ritual didn't end there. The animal was skinned, its body meticulously cleansed and prepared. Finally, every part of it, from the head to the hooves, was consumed by the flames of the altar, rising up to heaven as a sweet aroma, a pleasing offering to God. Leviticus, chapter 2, introduces us to the grain offering, a simple yet profound act of acknowledging God's provision. Picture this: fine flour, the very essence of bread, carefully mixed with oil, a symbol of richness and abundance. This mixture, often formed into flatbreads, was a testament to God's faithfulness in providing sustenance. But there were specific instructions, weren't there? No yeast, a symbol of corruption and decay, was permitted in this offering. And no honey, representing the fleeting sweetness of worldly pleasures. Instead, each offering had to be seasoned with salt, a mineral associated with purity and preservation. The priest would then take a portion of the grain offering, placing it upon the altar as a memorial. As the flames consumed the offering, it rose up as a sweet fragrance, a tangible expression of gratitude to the provider of all things. In the tapestry of Leviticus, the peace offering, described in chapter 3, stands out as a celebration of communion and fellowship with God. Unlike the burnt offering, which was wholly consumed by fire, the peace offering was shared. Imagine a male or female animal, again without blemish, brought before the tabernacle. The offerer, with heartfelt sincerity, would lay their hands upon the animal's head, acknowledging their need for peace and reconciliation. After the animal was sacrificed and its blood sprinkled on the altar, the fat, considered the richest part, was burned on the altar as a pleasing aroma to God. But here's where the sharing comes in. The priest received a portion, the breast and the right thigh, as a symbol of their special role as mediators between God and humanity. And finally, the offerer themselves partook of the offering, joining in a sacred meal, a tangible expression of their restored fellowship with God and with their community. The weight of sin, the burden of wrongdoing, is a universal human experience. And in Leviticus chapters 4 and 5, we encounter the sin offering, a ritual designed to address this very human struggle. Unlike the other offerings, the sin offering was not optional but obligatory, a necessary response to transgressions against God's laws. The type of animal offered varied depending on the severity of the sin and the status of the individual. A high priest, for instance, offered a bull, while a leader offered a male goat, and an ordinary person a female goat or lamb. This hierarchy reflected the understanding that those in positions of authority had a greater responsibility to uphold God's standards. Regardless of the animal chosen, the ritual remained strikingly similar. The offerer would lay their hands upon the animal's head, transferring their sin, their guilt, their wrongdoing onto this innocent substitute. The animal was then slaughtered, its blood sprinkled on the altar, signifying the atonement made for the sin committed. Leviticus chapter 5 introduces us to a distinct type of offering, the guilt offering. This offering addressed not just the sin itself but also the need for restitution, for righting the wrong committed against another person. Imagine a scenario where someone had unknowingly trespassed against their neighbor, perhaps by stealing, damaging property, or bearing false witness. In such cases, a ram or a male goat, without blemish, was brought as a guilt offering. The offerer, filled with remorse, would lay their hands upon the animal's head, acknowledging the weight of their transgression. The animal was then sacrificed, its blood sprinkled on the altar, atoning for the sin, but the guilt offering went a step further. The individual was also required to make restitution to the person they had wronged, restoring what was lost, and adding an additional 20% of its value. This act of restitution, this tangible effort to right the wrong, demonstrated the sincerity of their repentance and their commitment to living in right relationship with both God and their neighbor. As we conclude our exploration of Leviticus 1 through 7, it's important to remember that these offerings were not merely empty rituals. They were, in essence, a profound system of atonement, a way for people to acknowledge their imperfections and seek reconciliation with a holy God. Through the shedding of blood, the offering of their best, the Israelites demonstrated their deep desire for forgiveness, for peace, for closeness with the divine. These offerings provided atonement for sin, substituted animals for the offerer's sin, purified the offerer, and expressed worship and gratitude to God. While we may not offer animal sacrifices today, the principles behind these ancient rituals still resonate. We too are called to offer ourselves as living sacrifices, to present our bodies as instruments of righteousness, and to live lives characterized by gratitude, humility, and a deep desire to honor God. For more videos like this, share, and subscribe to Gospel